Yes, thank you, George, and welcome to Look East. On the programme tonight, bullied for questioning the status quo, claims foster carers in Milton Keynes faced intimidation from council staff.
It gets to the point where you're scared to say anything to managers because you think, how is it going to be taken? Are they going to come back at you and misrepresent what you've said?
The off-duty ambulance staff attending emergencies in their spare time. Critics say it won't work. The famous face is graffitied onto garages. How this artwork is helping raise awareness of mental health.
And I'm with Bedford ladies and girls as they celebrate England's quarter-final victory in the Euros.
First tonight, the story of a foster carer from Milton Keynes who claims she was bullied by the council she was trying to help. Claire, not her real name, is one of around 77,000 foster carers in England. She fulfills an important role with the number of children needing homes rising dramatically during the pandemic. But Claire says she was intimidated by children's services after she raised a number of concerns, and she's now worried her experience could put others off. Sam Reid has this exclusive report.
Afraid to go on camera, Claire, that's not her real name, is a foster carer who claims she was mistreated and bullied by Milton Keynes Council.
Something I've wanted to do and I was doing really well made me question whether I could even do it and carry on fostering. It caused me anxiety, which I've never ever experienced in my life before.
Claire says the bullying began once she started to speak up for her young people.
I feel that as soon as I started to question their role and things that they may have been doing wrong towards the children, it was kind of like, we don't like this behaviour from a foster carer, we want them to keep her quiet.
She says she was intimidated in meetings and an inappropriate safeguarding referral was made against her. Claire complained to the local government ombudsman, who found she has suffered considerable distress as a result of the council's failings over a long period of time, and the lack of support offered was not in line with the council's own policies and procedures. Milton Keynes Council has 119 in-house foster carers, looking after nearly 150 children. At an inspection last year, regulator Ofsted found a number of carers had left for reasons including COVID, but it also found shortfalls had existed at the service for too long without effective action being taken. Linda Chesney has been looking after young people in supported lodgings, part of the fostering service, for the past decade. She says within the council there was a high turnover of staff who often went off sick, and she knows of foster carers with concerns.
They're short-staffed. They don't have the resources that they need. They're quite desperate to find placements. I mean, we're always getting calls, for emergency placements, asylum seekers.
Milton Keynes Council wouldn't go on camera, but said it was disappointed carers felt let down, adding, "We're extremely proud of our foster carers. We take any concerns reported to us very seriously. We want our fostering service to be recognised as outstanding and are working hard to reach that standard." Claire says bullying of others is still ongoing and is campaigning for foster carers to be included in the council's Dignity at Work policy.
The lack of foster carers is so difficult for children because they're ultimately the ones that lose out because they have nowhere to go. So they end up being shipped across the country, put with foster carers who haven't got the skills for, it's just a crisis.
Sam Reid with that report. Well, joining me now is Robin Findlay, whose union represents foster carers. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Findlay. The first thing to say is you only set up this union just over a year ago. Why?
We did, Matsumi, because as a foster carer myself, and working with foster carers around the country, I found that what these ladies are saying is quite true. Foster carers live in a climate of fear, and it's not good for the children they're supposed to be looking after, because at the end of the day, the children have got to remain the priority. They've been swept away from whatever situation they've been in, and they don't want to keep getting moved and moved because the local authorities, can't control themselves really.
I know you can't. I know you can't comment on Claire's case in specific, but from what you've heard, are her complaints commonplace?
Her complaints are commonplace. The foster carers don't have a voice. Basically, they're frightened to speak out because otherwise they get a standard of care allegation against them, or they get concerns raised against them. Then it goes to an allegation. Then the children get moved again. Then the wages, the payment the foster carers are getting stops, and it just turns into a big nightmare. It can go on for nearly a year sometimes with an allegation. And can you imagine how that traumatizes the foster carers? No wonder they don't want to go on. No wonder they want to give up. New people don't want to start.
A lot of the children that are taken in are vulnerable themselves. So I wonder how susceptible foster carers are to allegations, not just from outside, from the council, as we've heard, but from children also.
Well, sometimes the placements are not done very well. Like we just heard in that report, the local authorities suddenly get some children they've got to place somewhere, and they desperately ask foster carers, please, at the moment they're doing emergency placements. They're putting people on sofas, they're putting them in caravans. They're putting them all over the place. Obviously, the foster carers have been DBS checked and they're proper carers, but the facilities that are available for these foster carers, the local authorities, are not very good. And the foster carers do the very best they can, but when you've got local authorities not looking after them properly, if the foster carers are not looked after properly, how can they look after the children properly?
So let me just ask this question then. Once an allegation is made, how quickly does the process take? Does the process work? Clearly not.
The process doesn't really work. We are actually in meetings with government at the moment. The Department for Education are the people that we're trying to get through to. Nadeem Zahawi used to be the minister that was involved there, but obviously he's moved on now to different places. And we've got some new ministers started. So we've got a meeting with them on the 6th of September when they come back from their summer vacation. And basically we've done a new plan because currently allegations can take 9 months or longer to go through all the different hoops. There's a thing called LADO, which is the local authorities investigation department. Basically, they've got to decide if the allegation might have some legs. If they think it has, then it might get reported to the police. The police take forever and ever to come back with any sort of report. Then it goes back into the LADO. Then at that point, until that point, maybe the foster carer doesn't even know what the allegation is. It's not like when you get stopped by the police and they say you've been speeding, you know what you've done wrong.
Let me just pause you there because, Robin Findlay, we have spoken to the government and they have said we are setting out plans to transform children's social care in the coming months. So hopefully we will get some answers soon. Robin Findlay, for the moment, many thanks for your time. And if you're a foster carer and have any thoughts on tonight's story, do let us know by emailing us. The details are on the screen for you now.